you don't have to attach your name to everything. I think have the desire and vision to build something bigger than yourself. Taking a minute and looking back is not the easiest thing to do when you're in that situation of constantly trying to move forward. You're constantly trying to go to that next level.
Hey guys, I've got an exciting one for you today. So today I'm filming with Michael, the founder and head of performance at DRVN Golf and Fitness. I'm going to be creating some YouTube content for him. However, whilst I'm here and I have the opportunity of being with him, I thought what a great way to bring some value to you guys. Those of you that are aspiring entrepreneurs, perhaps you're passionate about business or passionate about golf, either way, I'm going to bring you an interview with him. And Michael has lots of experience within business, many years of hard graft and lessons, I'm sure. And I'm sure he's got lots of knowledge he can also pass on. Let's get this interview underway.
Hey Greg.
Hello Michael, how you doing?
Good man, how are you?
Good, I'm very well, thank you. We're here in Yorkshire on a lovely sunny day, and I thought I'm in a fortunate position, a kind of a privileged position to be amongst a golf business owner that's been in the space for some time and someone that a lot of people will look up to. And I feel like it would be interesting to get some insights from a business owner. You are a founder of DRVN Golf and Fitness.
That's true.
Head of performance, PGA professional.
Yep.
And so could you, for those that might not know, although I'm sure a lot of people do in the space, but could you explain to the audience a bit about what DRVN Golf and Fitness is?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, my background is in coaching. So I started coaching golf first and then started coaching fitness at the same time. So that allowed me to get an incredible exposure and skill set working with all different types of people and understanding what actually helps people to get better, whether that's fitness or golf, ideally both. And through that, you look at different ways of impacting more people positively, really. So that went from obviously the academy I was running and the gym that I have now through to online coaching, in the form of PDFs originally, then somebody else's app, and then to this point where we're more or less a tech company and just trying to build the best app, best products, best platforms, while still maintaining everything that brought us here, which is helping people to improve in every way possible, from mobility to fitness to swing, and bringing it all into one place.
Amazing. Sounds like you've got a solid mission behind it all.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think people are just far more capable than they let themselves think they are. So our mission from day one was to inspire health and fitness through and for golf. So I think, again, the old way of thinking is golf fitness is just about swinging better. It's all golf focused. Whereas, number one, that's not how you train for golf. Like, you want to train the whole body, but also not only that, we want to use golf improvement as the actual motivating factor for people to improve everyday health and fitness. Because if you improve your health and fitness, you're going to be better at golf. If you're better at golf, you're going to build that confidence, build some momentum. You continue to train, and all of a sudden you get this kind of lifestyle that's really beneficial for everything.
Yeah, amazing. And that mission must, I'm sure as a business owner, there's ups and downs, there's some highs, there's some more challenging times. But does that mission kind of keep you going like day to day? Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, there's no way we'd have continued working as hard as we've worked without that, and kind of without the feeling that we've been given this opportunity. And it's my job to put in the work to make sure it gets to where I know it can be. And yeah, having that big vision at the end has definitely brought us through all of the times, because it's not so much highs and lows, it's constant challenge and risk management and a lot of sacrifice, to be honest.
Could you expand a bit on that? Because I think for the general population out there, that's something they might not want to step into, because it is a real, like you say, there's risk, constant challenges. Could you talk me through maybe some of those biggest challenges that you face?
I mean, it depends how much detail you want to get into, but I mean,
just what you're comfortable
Yeah.
sharing.
I'm happy to share it all, really. But I mean, yeah, that the mission, like you said in the first part, if we weren't aiming to build something so big, it would have been very difficult to go through everything that we have done. I mean, obviously we continue to generate more revenue and we get to help more people, which is great, obviously. But I mean, everything that we make goes back into the business. So it might look good when we're posting content, playing golf, we're training, you got the gym, you got the business. Whereas the reality is, for the most part of 8-9 years of 80+ hour weeks, hours and hours on a laptop, constant financial pressure that you continue to add to, with the view that it is going to pay off at a certain point. And you kind of, it's not really risk management. You got to enjoy that risk a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not on the scale you are, but as a small business owner, I feel like it can be, you're kind of alone with your own thoughts sometimes, like trying to grow a business. I wondered, for me, I feel like self-belief is a really big part of entrepreneurship. Would you say self-belief has been core to you?
Yeah, but like I touched on before, I feel like I've been given this opportunity. So, I mean, my faith plays a lot into that, into kind of how I've maintained the level of intensity and perseverance, really. So I lean back into that, and yeah, ultimately, it feels like this is what I should be doing, and I wouldn't have gone through everything I've gone through to get to this point if I was not going to carry on. So I think that's the same now as it was a year or two into this, where it felt like the same level of pressure, but obviously a much lower level. And then you kind of go through a year cycle and you feel like the breakthrough's coming, and it's just the next step up into the same loop, and you just kind of continue our way up. So yeah, it's taken a lot to get here. I'm very grateful for everything, because it's given me so many opportunities. It's also been incredibly difficult, and I think that's kind of part of the deal, right? If you're going to do something that isn't ordinary, for lack of a better word, if you are going to go out and build something that really means something, it's not going to be easy road. And I don't think it should be, to be honest.
Yeah, it's all part of it.
Yeah.
I wondered, have you had mentorship along the way? And perhaps what's the kind of best advice that you've received on the journey?
In some ways, that's kind of a loaded question. It's something I have struggled with over time. I think location is one part. Obviously, I'm in a small town in England. So, I mean, it's not really what people do. I mean, obviously, we are a global business, and we have been. So in terms of people around me, I don't necessarily have any mentors close to me, because I'm the one doing it, essentially. So on that case, no, and that's had its own challenges, because I think when you're leading something, people want you to lead. So in terms of having someone to really work off and kind of challenge ideas, there's certainly been times where that hasn't been the case. But I think over time, we've always had really clear support from people, whether that was a mentorship role or just something that really added confidence. We worked a lot with Scott Stallings when we were really starting out, who was high up on the PGA Tour, and opened up some connections. And again, going from a small town in England where there's no big names, golfers there, to have someone to connect like that and kind of back it up made a big difference. And then that's one of the biggest changes, certainly over the last close to couple of years, is getting more towards the right people in the business. We did take a partner on from the US, Hewitt, and his company. He's really tried to help in more of a mentorship role, and he's had some really good insight. And then outside of that, it's getting good people, good skill sets to develop the business further. And I think over time, there's always people who really contribute. And yeah, I think there's a lot of people when you look back who've obviously had an impact. And yeah, I think taking a minute and looking back is not the easiest thing to do when you're in that situation of constantly trying to move forward. You're constantly trying to go to that next level. It's definitely a necessary thing to take some time from time to time to reflect and see all those people along the way.
Yes, got to be fulfilling, and you're providing for people, helping people. So having a team has really helped kind of scale up. And I know you mentioned about each year it's kind of like a cycle, and you reinvest back in.
Yeah.
I wonder for people that are maybe kind of stuck at a certain level, like, is there certain things within the business that helped you take it up a notch? Certain decisions you made?
No, I mean, people do make a huge difference, because you work with the wrong people and they're going to drain your money really fast. You work with the right people and they're going to contribute and add to your business very quickly. So there's no right or wrong there. I mean, obviously every business is different. People work differently. So I think that's a very tricky thing. But obviously that again is more or less an element of scale, where the more money you can pay people, generally the better results you're going to get. And that is essentially how things work. I think one difference there, we did offshore our app development very early on, and we got very lucky there. Our team, we're close now. We've been working together 5+ years, which I know that isn't how it always goes, and there's been some quite amusing challenges along the way, but they've been great. So I think getting that set early on has probably been a really big aspect for us. And again, the challenges of any business make it very hard to say what is going to make that difference. But I think not to fall into what any golfer would say, but consistency. I think if you have the core concept of your business, if that changes, then you probably don't have that much of a business. So you want to make sure that what you are trying to do is done as well as possible. And then around that, you can build up. I think that's something that I've certainly learned over time, because I mean, we deliver golf workouts. We work on all of these different tech elements. We do all this content, everything else. But ultimately, the intellectual property, what we design, what people follow and use, is our workouts. So as long as they are leading the way, as I feel they have been for a long time, that's our core concept, and everything else builds from that.
Amazing. And you mentioned content there, and you've certainly been super consistent over the years. How, as someone that provides content services, it's just kind of interesting, the feedback of like how important has content been for your business? I mean, that's how we create. Should business owners be investing?
Yeah, this should be getting you on board. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what you're trying to say. But no, I think, I mean, we wouldn't have the business if we didn't do content. There's no two ways around that. As I keep saying, we're in a small town in the north of England. We're not in the middle of a lot of well-known players where we can integrate. We continue to post that content, and that's how it started out. I was posting my own journey early on when I was coaching golf, I was coaching fitness, and obviously I was deep into both. And I essentially shared my journey at the time of, this is how I'm training, this is my golf swing, and we got enough traction there to then continue providing that value. And I think the one thing with the content, obviously, as with everything, it's a blessing and a curse, but it changes so quickly. You can always be the leader. And I think having that foresight and having that willingness to go on and do what it takes to take that position is increasingly important. And I think even more so now, I think authenticity and genuine content is going to be more valuable than ever.
Sure.
Again, obviously, AI is flooding everything.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, and I mean, but I think I wouldn't be too worried, because I think already people don't like to see it. I mean, if you're being sold something that doesn't exist, then you're not going to enjoy that for very long. And obviously, I mean, it's the same for us, really. We're a digital product, so AI generates digital products, but we continue to, through the content, both on social media, on different platforms, but also inside of all our platforms, having that human content, that genuine engagement and genuine quality is something that we're like heavily leaning into. Because you could go onto any of the AI systems, you can generate X workout, you can get all of this detail, but that's still not the same as having something originally designed, built, and genuinely integrated into something that means something.
For sure, and that trust factor of, I think, yeah, it's pretty obvious if you're watching something on Instagram and it's a fake human being, you can't connect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think we haven't gone too far down that road yet, but yeah, I think people are rejecting it pretty quickly. So
Sure.
It'll be interesting to see what comes next. That's for sure.
Sure. And just a couple more questions in terms of like what's next. I wondered if golf in general, like what would you say are the biggest opportunities in golf, say over the next 5-10 years? Obviously, indoor golf seems to have taken over.
Honestly, yeah, it's huge right now. Everyone's playing golf. Everyone wants to be involved in golf content. It's that continuation. I think if you can probably look at parallels from other sports over time. And I think sports and entertainment, I think you can see how many people are involved. The way that golf is played allows everyone to be involved. And even just looking at YouTube golf, you've got people who are doing it competitively, and you've got people who are doing it in fun formats, purely entertaining. So I think understanding those two elements of where the actual sport of golf is going and where the audience is, matched with how people are entertained by golf, those are the two main vectors of where the audience is. So those are going to be the opportunities. And I think, we're going to dominate golf fitness, so there's not many opportunities there. But outside of that, if you can be involved in how golf is played and how people engage with it, there's going to be a lot of opportunities in the next few years for sure.
Amazing, exciting. And just to finish up, for those that perhaps inspire to start a business, or particularly in the golf space, is there any kind of final advice that you would give to them?
Yeah, I think the one thing I did immediately, and I still see it now, is certainly from a golf pro perspective, might be different in a few other realms, but everybody, at least in this country, it might be different elsewhere, but you don't have to attach your name to everything. I think have the desire and vision to build something bigger than yourself, because even if you do build a business around yourself, ultimately it's hard to then build yourself out of that business. So it only has a certain lifespan, whereas if you build a business that you work in, at a certain point you can be out of that business and that business can live on. So I think that's something that I immediately kind of realized very early on, and that's allowed me to kind of accelerate out of that kind of restriction, I would say.
Amazing. Even Mr. Beast, he's had someone come stand by him for like 6 months, and then so he knows his whole operation, so he can just dip out.
There you go. That's it. I mean,
biggest creator out there. So.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, people get more and more aware of how to handle themselves and the requirements of growth and scale and everything else. And if you genuinely want to build something, you need to be able to take yourself out of that business at any given time. You don't have to want to, but that has to be an option. And if you build it all around yourself, that's going to be very, very difficult.
Sure. It's definitely something that I'm conscious of as I hopefully head in the right direction. But yes, if you haven't already, then definitely check out DRVN Golf and Fitness, the app, the YouTube channel, Instagram. Anything else you'd like to promote? You've obviously got the certification for coaches.
Yeah, that's it. We got the coaches side out, so we're working with the PGA now. But I think look out the next couple of months. We're working on some really cool stuff right now. Again, about to go through that next loop, that next cycle. We're growing out some really cool things. So keep an eye out the next couple of months.
Amazing. Cool.
All right. Thank you for the time.
Thanks, Michael.
No worries. Thank you.
So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Michael. I found it really interesting. I tried to just listen, give him space to talk. And entrepreneurship, it can be glammed up online, but the reality is, like Michael said, it's 80-hour work weeks year after year. You've got to be seriously committed, and there's a lot of risk involved, a lot of challenges, and often we just see the tip of the iceberg and not all the hard work that goes into it. It was my first interview, so go easy on me. I did my best. Certainly need to brush up my interviewing skills a bit, but and hopefully provide some questions that you found interesting. But yeah, hopefully there'll be some more golf business owners in the future to be interviewed. If there's someone you particularly want to hear from, then let me know. Or if there's someone you can put me in touch with, even better, fantastic. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.